Hey everyone, this is Kavita from Craft Doodling Designs. This is my Mika vest pattern. I have just finished knitting the body of the vest. Now I am ready to knit the armhole trim. Starting from the middle of the side seam, I have picked up stitches around the armhole. I have picked up stitches um, at the rate of 1 stitch per row. Now, this might be different for you depending on your row gauge. You might want to pick up 3 stitches out of 4 rows or 2 stitches out of 3 rows, etc. To start the double knit trim, I'm going to cast on 5 stitches after the last picked up stitch, which is this one. I'm going to use knitted cast on method. That is 5 stitches cast on. So these 5 stitches will form one side of your double knit trim. For the other side, we are going to cast on 4 more stitches in between these existing stitches in the next setup row. So the next setup row, we are going to do knit 1 and cast on 1. For this, I'm going to use E cast on or backwards loop cast on. Knit 1, cast on 1, knit 1, cast on 1, knit 1, cast on 1. For the last stitch, I am going to knit it together through the back loop with the last picked up stitch here. Now, those two were the steps for setting up the double knit trim. Now, we are going to continue knitting the trim. Even though the double knit trim is going to look the same on both sides, you will be knitting it slightly differently depending on whether you are looking at the right side of your fabric or the wrong side of your fabric. So for this side of the double knit trim, when I'm looking at the right side of the fabric, I'm going to slip one purlwise with yarn in front, knit one, slip one purlwise with yarn in front, knit one, slip one purlwise with yarn in front, knit one, slip one purlwise with yarn in front, knit one, and the last stitch is going to be slip one purlwise with yarn in front and turn your work. At this point, you are looking at the wrong side of the sweater fabric. We use the same 2 stitches, but we are going to knit them in a slightly different order. So the first stitch will be knit 1, slip on purlwise with yarn in front, knit one, knit, slip one, and here in this row the last stitch will be a knit stitch, but you are going to knit it together through the back loop with the next stitch available on the needle. This way we are attaching the trim on the go. One more repeat. So turn your work. This is a double knit row while looking at the right side of your fabric. So you're going to slip one purlwise with yarn in front, knit one, slip one purlwise with yarn in front, knit one. Basically you're starting with a slip stitch and ending with a slip stitch. Slip the last stitch, yarn in front, and then turn your work. Now for this row you are looking at the wrong side of your sweater fabric. For this you are going to start with the knit stitch, slip one purlwise with yarn in front, and keep alternating the stitches until the last knit stitch, which you are going to knit together through the back loop with this next stitch available on the needle. I'll see you again when I'm done with the trim and I'm ready to graft it. I've finished knitting the armhole trim. I've ended with the wrong side row here, and now I'm ready to graft these two edges. This is the beginning edge and this is the last row, and we are ready to graft these two edges. To graft the edges, we are going to have to separate the two layers, for which I'm going to collect all the knit stitches in one needle and collect all the purl stitches in another needle. I'm using two spare needles for this. So this is a purl stitch. I'm going to bring in another needle. This is a knit stitch. So I'm collecting all the purl stitches in the golden needle and all my knit stitches in the wooden needle. So the stitches are separated out. There are four knit stitches and there are 5 purl stitches. Putting these purl stitches temporarily on the wire of the needle. Now we will be grafting only this layer, the outer layer, with the outer layer on this starting edge like this. So we have 4 stitches here and we can identify 4 knit stitches from here as well. So this is the first knit stitch. This is the second one. Here is my third knit column. And here is my fourth knit stitch. So there are 4 stitches here on this edge as well. I'm giving myself enough yarn to graft, and I'm cutting the yarn. Thread through your tapestry needle. So for the first stitch, insert tapestry needle purlwise, pull yarn through, do not drop the stitch off. Now find the corresponding knit stitch on the other edge, which is here. Now insert tapestry needle knitwise into the same stitch where you started. Now drop this off the needle. And for the next stitch, insert tapestry needle purlwise, pull yarn through, but do not drop it off the needle. Find the corresponding stitch. Which is here. Insert tapestry needle from right to left. Pull yarn through. Now into the same stitch. Insert tapestry needle knitwise. And drop it off. Purlwise. Find the corresponding stitch on this other edge. We are grafting both the outer edges. Knitwise and drop it off. Purlwise. Find the corresponding stitch. Double knit band grafted. There is still the inner side which needs to be grafted in the same way. Now we are looking at the other side of the double knit trim while facing the wrong side of the fabric. So this has 5 stitches that needs to be grafted. We are going to continue in the same way. Insert tapestry needle purlwise into the first stitch on the needle. Find the first stitch on this edge, which is this one. Insert tapestry needle right to left and pull through. Enter the same stitch, now knitwise, and then you're ready to drop it off. Purlwise into the live stitch on the needle. Find the corresponding stitch on the other side. Insert tapestry needle right to left like that. Bring it through. And now insert needle into the same stitch, knit twice, and then drop it off. That is all my stitches grafted on one side of the double knit fabric while facing the wrong side of the sweater. This is how it looks when facing the right side of the sweater. I hope the tutorial clearly explained the steps to knitting your double knit armhole trim. I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.